Welcome back everyone dito sa latest episode ng Quadcom. Kasama po natin of course si Kristan at saka si Mark Gamboa. And of course not in body but in soul si Attorney Falsis na minamahal natin. I hope he recovers. Pagod na pagod yan. Ang dami na i-cover pa next week. Today, I want to start with really a breakdown of anong expect natin over the coming months potentially. Or mukhang mahaba ito. So ito na, Netflix series. Sara Duterte trial. Mark, maybe I can start with you and then we go to Chris also because Chris also has done very good breakdown of this. Is this time gonna be different sa tingin mo? I mean, just right off the bat, do you think this time will be different from last time?
Definitely. I think tuloy na talaga. And naka-ready na lahat, yung prosecution and yung sa defense. Sinubukan na lahat ng tactics ng kampo nila VP Sara para i-delay, para iusog, matigil, rally, pero hindi pa rin, matutuloy na. And I think lalabas na. Above everything else, ang importante dito yung mga ebidensya na yung iba last year pa naka-ready, lalabas na starting this week. Kaya ako excited na to watch kung ano yung mangyayari dito sa impeachment. And excited ako sa kasi magagaling na members ng prosecution, even dun sa private na counsel nila.
Very good.
Kaya excited ako to see kung who is going to shine, kung yung mga bright legal minds na meron dun sa prosecution team at kung paano naman sasagutin nung sa defense.
Yeah, thank you because we just had mention of Marcoleta as the legal luminary in the previous episode. So I'm glad we always start with legal luminaries. So Chris, our sun-kissed friend from Southern Europe. Okay, kamusta? Break it down, brother. You do fantastic breakdowns. I'm a big fan.
Unang-una with regards to the impeachment, ito yung interesting na difference. You have a sitting vice president who is very popular, who will run in 2028. So the dynamics changes dahil doon.
Right.
At the political decisions that are going to be made is going to be based on that. It's unfortunate nga, ito na naman yung nakikita natin na cynical na ang ating mga kababayan. Na pag tinignan mo yung mga naririnig mong mga usapin, lumalabas at karamihan sa atin ay sinasabi na mukhang ma-acquit naman to . Mukhang yung ating mga senador won't have the balls to go against their own political interests, won't have the conscience na bumoto ng tama base sa ebidensya. Yun ang tingin ng mga kababayan. I'm not saying that I believe that.
Yeah.
Kasi there's a part of me that believes na if the evidence is overwhelming, ang hirap talaga, kahit na political calculation mo, ang hirap mag-acquit kung nakikita mo talaga na shucks, ang tibay ng ebidensya. Now, having said that, I'm giving the defense the benefit of the doubt na kung makapagpakita sila ng matibay na ebidensya to the contrary, that an acquittal can be made and justified, I will support the acquittal. But, ang hirap. Kasi yung 4 articles mo, you have to dodge 4 bullets. Not 1, 4. So even if she dodges 1, so you have the Salen issue. Which is ill-gotten wealth. Then you have the issue of the corruption, the bribery. Tapos meron kang issue of confidential funds. And then the grave threat.
Yeah.
Man, tell me which one yung pinakamahina doon.
Grave threat kasi joke naman daw. No joke. It was a joke. No joke.
Alam mo yung sa grave threat, I'm actually asking myself anong magandang depensa dito. Because pag tinignan mo, binasa ko yung 51-page defense ng team ni Sara Duterte. Pare, ang hina ng defense. The defense is leading to getting the Senate to still dismiss the impeachment. Andun pa sila sa...
Procedural pa rin ang style. Yeah, it's just procedural.
What the heck?
Yeah.
Defend your position. And even yung mga witnesses nila, pag tinignan mo, sinasabi na meron daw silang surprise witness. The reason they have the surprise witness is because of security reasons. Yun ang gagamitin nilang rason kung bakit bubulagan nila yung prosecution at yung mga senador. I hope it doesn't fly. Kasi kung mangyari yun, then that's a way to sabotage it. But even if they have a surprise witness, ang hirap depensahan yung ginawa ni Sara Duterte. She might get away with one. I'll tell you which one I think. The bribery. Baka makalusot siya doon. Pero pagdating sa grave threat, yan ang pinakamabigat. Kasi mismo ni live stream Kitang-kita with your own eyes. Should we even play the video?
Parang Mark Oleta din to.
Yeah, okay. Why don't we do-
Paki-overplay din ng video.
Why don't we do that?
Yeah,
Pakita natin.
exactly.
Kasi for
Yeah,
me,
kailangan. Ilagay mo
whether
sa
you're
edit.
supporting Sara Duterte or not, panoorin mo to. Tignan mo. You yourself, ask yourself that question.
Huwag kang mag-alala, ma'am, sa security ko. Kasi may kinausap na ako na tao. Sinabi ko sa kanya, kapag pinatay ako, patayin mo si BBM, si Lisa Araneta, at si Martin Romales. No joke. No joke. Nagbilin na ako, ma'am. Pag namatay ako, sabi ko, huwag ka tumigil hanggang hindi mo mapatay sila. And then he said yes.
Did she make the threat or not? Yes, some of you will say it's conditional. Pero grave threat, according to, ayon sa ating saligang batas, there's no such thing as conditional.
Bro, walang
You made a threat.
Parang, kung hindi ka nagbayad, pasensya na lang, mawawala yung ano mo. Parang hindi pwede ganun.
pero kung nagbayad ka, hindi kita papatayin.
Parang mafia yun eh. Parang, hindi ko sinabi na may mangyayari, pero pag may nangyari, din na natin
Pero kung
kasalanan,
hindi mo
pare.
binigay yung share ko,
Tony.
patayin kita, di ba?
Tony, I told you, no problem.
So, yung freedom of expression na depensa, mahinang depensa yung freedom of expression. Kasi freedom of expression, we all know has limitations.
Yeah.
Bomb jokes is a limitation. Pagdating sa airport, malaki yun. Pag nasa aeroplano
Makakulong
ka,
ka, yeah.
sigurado ko sa'yo, kulong ka.
Kulong ka.
You make a threat pa naman to the president,
Yeah, of the Republic.
and you're the vice president.
Yeah,
Wow. The threshold goes higher.
Yeah.
Kaya yun ang problema doon.
So I wanna ask you, like, since nasa patayan, violence mode tayo, yung piskal na binugbog ni Sara, di ba inimbita yun?
Oo.
At saka si Piatos. So may dalawang star people na sanang inabangan ko, pero mukhang malabo.
O parang ayaw nila. Pero wala naman yata silang choice eh. Baka, hindi, I mean,
Piatos has no choice.
If that thing exists, I don't know, ano siya, basta kung ano siya.
pinasupina sila. Pero yung kay Fiscal daw is trying to show yung pattern ng ugali
na talagang
ni
violent
VP Sara Duterte. Para sa akin yun tama yung sinabi mo yung sa threats laban sa Pangulo. I think that's one of the strongest dun sa apat kasi nga, how can you dispute dun sa video, klarong-klaro yun. Pero ang importante din sa akin, aside from wanting to get the votes ng 16 na senators, yung sa public.
Yeah.
Kasi yung sa public, lalo na yung mga sumusuporta pa rin ngayon hanggang ngayon kay Sara Duterte, nakita naman nila yung threats niya kay Pangulo eh, and they still parang in a way supporter or maybe even like her. So ako, I'm looking forward doon sa mga ebidensya na alam mong mahirap i-dispute eh. For example nga, yung sa bank records.
Yeah.
Kung yun ang lumabas or kung I don't know kung lalabas yung sa BIR or yung sa kapag lumabas na yung sa actual bank records, makita na at this time ang pera sa bangko nila Sara Duterte is ganitong bilyon, ganito contrary dun sa kanyang salary na 50 million lang yung lamang. How can you dispute that eh? Kumbaga, yung mga nagtatanggol sa kanya, nagde-defend sa kanya, hindi na eh. Ito na, actual na bank records. Saan ang galing yung 1 billion mo dun sa bangko? Bakit ka nagkaroon ng ganyang pera kung hindi galing yan sa korupsyon? So, I think that's still the part I'm looking forward to dito sa impeachment. Kasi it will be useful in trying to convince yung mga ilang tao na maaring hindi pa rin makadecide kung gusto nila o ayaw nila si Sara Duterte. Pag nakita nila, bank records na, hindi nagsisinungaling yan, na nagpayaman silang ganun. Tayo, hirap na hirap tayo, nagtatrabaho tayo ng maayos, tapos siya, pag ganun-ganun lang, merong billion sa bank account. So, yung public perception, very important din doon sa laban dito sa impeachment ni Sara.
Ano yung defense ng team niya ulit doon sa bank? Dumaan lang naman daw, hindi nag-park.
Dumaan lang eh.
Ayun na naman tayo.
At sinabi nila na, ba't daw sinasama si Mans Carpio? Parang hindi abogado yung nagde-defend sa kanila. No? Yung nagrason mo, subukan mo gamitin yung rason na, bakit sinasama si Mans Carpio? Matagal ng opisyal ng gobyerno si Sara Duterte. Alam nating lahat. Alam natin, kahit na nga tayo hindi abogado, na salin, pag mag-asawa kayo, kasama ka asawa mo, conjugal properties yan. Ang gulo nun eh. Number 1. Number 2, ito lang masabi ko. Yung nakita mo ginawa ni Sara Duterte sa pagde-deposit sa account nila, that shows you one thing. Hubris. Nakikita mo na ganun sila kumilos sa mga Duterte that they truly
Sanayan
believe
na talaga.
they are above the law. Na i-deposit mo sa account ko kasi kahit na i-deposit mo yan, hindi ako kayang hawakan ng batas. The law is beneath me because I am a Duterte. That's why, ang tapang nila, sabi ko, i-deposit mo lang sa bank account ko. Okay lang yan, deposit mo. Every week, deposit mo sa lahat ng mga anak ko. O kahit kay Kitty Duterte, sa yung joint account niya sa nanay niya, i-deposit mo. Ganun kakapal ang mukha ng mga to at ganun ka naniniwala sila that they are above the law. So sa mga sumusuporta sa Duterte na nanonood na itong programang to, isipin niyo yan na meron kang isang sinusuportahan na naniniwala that their family is above all of us, na hindi siya pwede hawakan ng saligang batas. Yun yung nakakainis dito at nakakalungkot na umabot tayo sa punto na iniidolo nating tao ay ayaw sumunod sa batas. Nagganito ang kilos nila.
Ang tanong ko lang dyan, obviously they have contempt for the whole... parang where... But
You're right, contempt.
it's a contempt Parang, ano lang yan. But, I wanna ask about this kasi every time may comment ako sa mga Dutertes na hindi positive, ang comment ng DDS, inggit ka sa kanila. Ang tanong ko, anong banda? like what is... I really don't understand. What is exceptional with Dutertes? Yeah. Is it their brains? Is it their beauty? Is it their aesthetics? Is it their achievements in life? Na may, I really don't understand where is this cult following coming from, bro. I mean, can you explain it to me? Obviously, rhetorical question. I wrote a whole book on this. Pero honestly, minsan parang, bakit believe kayo sa mga yan? I mean, sige, Digong, I'm willing to a little bit giving some way kasi in fairness naman, di ba? In a crazy wrong way. May gumalaw yung baso. But Baste, Sara, I mean like, what have they achieved? Hindi nga makaano-ano nga yan sa ano na yan Kaya pinaano na lang sa ano. What else should I say? Like, I don't understand where is this believe sila kay Sara and Baste and all this. Yun na hindi ko mind. Kaya nga ako, ang Omar Duterte na ako ngayon You have to be ready for Omar Duterte kasi nakalatag na pare. Parang golden jeans daw yan
Pare, nilampas sa si Kitty.
Ako, Team Omar talaga. Ako bro bet ako kay Omar talaga. Lalo nung jacket niya, parang Zaldi ko rin yung jacket niya na brown na ano. Di ba bro? I'm just saying, I really want to understand saan galing na believe talaga sila. Hindi lang kay Digong, but yung mga sa mga anak nila, obviously, they're bums. I mean, like, wala silang achievement sa buhay. I don't understand.
Ako, pag I ask myself that question din. Pero ang tinipignan ko na lang, buti may parallel kay Donald Trump sa US.
Ayun.
Di ba? Parang alam naman natin yung kay Donald Trump yung pride nung mga supporters niya from the start. Hindi, ganyan-ganyan, inaapi nyo kami, or ganyan-ganyan, kinukuha ng ganito yung mga trabaho namin. Kumaga na-tap nila yung hatred ng tao towards dun sa ruling or kung sino man yung galit nila. Nangyari yan kay Digong. Ang gusto ko ding makita, kung para bang sa Pilipinas na naipapasa sa anak. Kasi tama naman yung sinabi mo, kay Sara, kay Baste. Kung ganun
Kay Omar.
Kay Rigo. kung ganun din ba kay Donald Trump, yung mga followers niya, yung mga maga niya.
Sa mga anak niya.
Will it be the same for Eric? For
Parang
tingin mo?
hindi. Parang hindi.
Tingin mo hindi?
Parang hindi,
Don't
bro.
be too sure.
No. Otherwise, hindi J.D. Vance and Ruby ang conversation ngayon.
Ano pa
It would
yan?
have been Eric Trump Jr. or someone like that.
Malayo pa yan, pero ako, I'm betting kung sino man dun sa dalawa, ang VP nila is anak ni Trump. So yun ang...
As a part of a political compromise, maybe. But I would say, I don't sense sa MAGA na may ganyan belief sa kanila. No, I mean, it could happen, but it's part of a deal. Not because tingin nila na pasa ni... Kasi in fairness, Trump is really a performer. Pag nagsalita, paano mo yung anak niya? None of them have it. Kaya hindi ko maintindihan bakit sa atin parang almost same yung level ng reverence.
Actually, I'll answer that. That rhetorical question na it doesn't require an answer.
It is a rhetorical, obviously.
Pero alam mo, ganito lang Richard, naniniwala ka ba na yung mga sumasagot sa'yo ay karamihan nun ay totoong tao?
Hindi, yung iba totoo talaga.
Yeah, yung iba. Pero marami doon ay
Troll
trolls.
farm. Yeah, of course.
Yes, come on. So, kaya para sa akin, mas marami ang mga troll farms na mas maiingay na that doesn't really represent the majority of Filipinos kasi majority ng mga Duterte supporters, majority, and I say the word majority kasi that's 70% of Duterte supporters according to the surveys of Okta Research. Lumalabas, pag nakita nila yung ebidensya na matibay na gumawa ng kalokohan si Sara Duterte, inabuso niya yung kanyang posisyon, nag-grave threat siya, hindi siya nagsabit ng proper SALN at naggawa ng indirect bribery at nilustay niya yung 125 million, ay babaliktad. 70%. 30% lang yung hardcore. Malaki pa rin yung 30%. Pero yun ang sinasabi ko, that what you're talking about when you see some of these comments, some of them are just really paid trolls. Pag nagla-live ako, nakikita ko yung mga parang, kayo yung naka-assign sa akin. May ilang pangalan dyan, palagi ko nakikita eh.
Call center operation.
Oo, nakikita ko talaga. Sabi ko, dito na naman si ganon. Welcome back kay ganon. Yung isa nga, nagiging halos magkaibigan na kami, na nagdo-donate pa siya sa akin. Galing sa sweldo niya. Hindi naman niya dinidispute na nababayaran siya. Kasi I would say, kumusta? Sana naman sulit yung binabayad
May
sa'yo.
revenue sharing setup.
Oo, may revenue sharing.
My counter would be immediately this, and I want to also get Mark's point of view. Ano pa bang kailangan natin makita? To know that Sara Duterte or Baste or Omar are not really up to the task to be the next president or lead. Yan ang point ko. Like, I completely agree with all your interpretation of the data. Pero bro, what else should we show the people, bro? Hindi ba sapat yung lumabas sa Piatos, sa Miggy Mango? Hindi ba sapat na lumabas dun sa bank records sa Congress? Kaya kahapon, nung interview ko si Congressman Zia, sabi ko, so anong in-expect mo na added value nung trial na hindi pa nakita ng tao? Because his argument would be the same. Once nakita ng tao na ganito. Pero bro, ano pa ba? I mean, I'm scared to make a parallel na mapahamak ako. Parang, ano pa bang kailangan makita? Nakita na lahat, bro! Ano pa ba?
I already have a visual.
Bro, you get what I'm saying, bro? Like, what else you need to see? To see hindi to mga presidentiable. They're not even barangayable. Di ba?
Sige,
go. Sige.
Sige,
Defend mo yung
ako
70%
kukontra.
na hindi
Ako
pa rin
yung-
bumaliktad.
Hindi ako yung kukontra dun sa, hindi naman sa kontra, pero it's the same view I had naman sa mga previous podcast natin. Regional eh. Regional.
Solid South na naman tayo.
Solid South na naman. It's the Visayan speaking provinces na
And
magrarason lang
people
sila.
here, by the way, they're also
Meron
here.
din dito,
Yeah, meron dito.
They're also in
Pero
Baguio.
the
They're
thing
also
is, the supporters ng Duterte sa Luzon, kaya lang naman sila ganyan yumayabang or ganyan. Because of yung base nila sa South.
Yeah,
Pero kung
yeah.
tanggalin mo yung base sa South, pantay-pantay naman lahat
Yeah.
eh. So sa akin, yung like what we saw doon sa pagkamatay ng Ateneo player sa Mindanao. Yung merong ganong grievance na yung mga kababayan natin from the South na maaring nakikita lang nila sa Duterte yung kung ano man yung nakikita
champion nila yan.
champion
Fighter
nila.
yan.
And
Daw.
kahit na iba to ng ganitong corruption or ganung ano, ang sasabihin lang sa iyo, yung ibang si ganito corrupt din. Si ganon corrupt din. So para sa akin need ma-address yung doon sa regional eh. Yung fascination sa fascination. Fascist na. Fascination.
That was almost there.
Fascination
Fascination.
ng mga kababayan natin
That's a
sa
good term. I'll use that. Fascination.
fascination sa Mindanao. So, yun ang kailangan ma-break eh. Doon siguro papasok, baka we need new champions from Mindanao to show them na hindi lang naman Duterte ang magaling coming from your end. 'Di ba? Maraming mga pwedeng umangat sa national level na galing sa Mindanao. So, yun sa akin yun ang worry ko pa din na kahit na anong gano'ng kalakas ebidensya nating ipakita, ma-change mo yung isip ng mga moderates, ng mga ano. Pero yung pag ang pinaghugutan nila ng suporta is regional pride, that's a different
So it's not a
topic.
30-70. It's more like 60-40.
I don't know the exact numbers.
Kasi
pero
baka yung
baka-
60% ng support base na, they will stick with her until the end. It's
No,
harder.
yeah. No, first of all, just to be very clear, no, hindi Visaya at saka Mindanao ang base ni Duterte. Mindanao lang. Visaya is actually fairly
Hindi,
moderate.
Visaya speaking.
Visaya speaking, yes. Pero
Kasi
sa
andito
Visaya,
rin si-
yes, pero sa Visaya,
Yeah, no. It's
hindi.
competitive. Yeah,
it's very competitive.
I think he meant Bisaya speaking.
Yeah, as a
sorry.
matter of fact, with the presidential surveys, Lenny is ahead.
Yeah.
Second place is undecided.
Yeah.
Third place si Sara. So, ganun kalayo. Pero malaki nga yung Mindanao base na yon. Ngayon, ang siguro ang hamon ko lang sa ating mga kababayan na taga Mindanao, ito lang. Alalahanin natin na Pilipino muna tayo. Pilipinas muna, tayong lahat. Bago tayo maging tribal Pilipinas, kasi ang playbook ng lahat ng mga authoritarian ay pag-away-awayin tayo. Gawing tribal, kasi alam nila dun sila mananalo. So it's ginagamit lahat ng mga Pilipino as pawns. Yan lang yun eh. And kung kaya nilang paghati-hatian tayo, ang mangyayari doon, sila yung makikinabang. Yun. So, that's how this game is played. And sana makikita ng ating mga kababayan na talagang nilalaro lang tayong lahat para sa kanilang pakinabang. At pag nakita mo yun, na magkaisa tayong lahat laban sa lahat ng mga politiko na to, na mga tulad ng mga Duterte, na tulad ng mga Marcos, lahat. Pag nakita mo na tayo magkakampi dito, wala na magagawa itong mga walang kwentang politiko na abusado na to sa atin eh. Yun.
Kaya importante dyan papasok yung sila Kong Zia Adyong,
Yeah.
Congresswoman Kaka Bagao, si Lord Suan, yung mga nasa Mindanao na mga prosecutors, tapos sa Visaya sila Lawrence Defensor
Zubiri.
and Zubiri.
Zubiri?
Oo.
Bakit? Zubiri? What?
Migs.
Mig Zubiri?
Oh, di ba muntik sila nag-Arnis versus Calderon?
Yeah. Pero, but Zubiri has, been very allied with,
Pero have you seen yung napanood nyo yung video ni Senator Migs when he was talking dun sa people of Bukidnon?
Yeah.
Kasi tapos na siya, he might be running for local.
Yeah.
Nung naging desisyon niya na paglipat sa majority, he had to...
SB11.
So parang merong sense na parang the people in Bukidnon,
Fairness naman. In fairness naman, yeah. I'm just saying.
Sige.
so may ganung
masyado kang cynical,
Doon nagagaling yung pressure kaya hindi siya sa mga Duterte because doon sa
yayarin
probinsya
siya.
nila may ganung factor and that's what we have to address.
Yeah, in
Yung
fairness to
regional-
Zubiri. Shoutout naman kay Mick Zubiri.
Yeah, he's
Very appreciative ako today sa mga senators.
I know, sandali lang, Richard.
Robin Hood Padilla, Mick Zubiri.
I saw you walked in here, may dala kang maleta.
Wala eh. Ito lang time na wala akong maleta at all. Mapansin mo, ang maleta ko lang. Ito lang maleta ko. Maliit lang na ganito.
Ganun na kaliit ngayon.
Lumiit ang maleta ko eh.
Poleta.
Smaleta. Maleta Junior.
I know, I was gonna make a joke. May marcoleta, may maleta. Pero anyway, okay, ganito guys. Sige, okay, maybe I'm being too harsh. Kasi sa akin, maybe I am cynical. Kasi nga, nakikita ko that,
Yun pala eh.
when senators act kasi because of their self-interest, it's disappointing for me. Because sa akin sana, again, maybe this is where I'm becoming a little bit too idealistic. Kasi I believe that every senator and every congressman, every politician should really act on the best interest of the people and of the country. Unahin nila sana yung ating bansa, hindi yung sariling interest.
Lalo yung senador kasi nationally elected sila.
Yun.
Lalo yung senador.
And alam mo, fine. Alam mo, nakita ko talaga that, remember, I keep talking about this the survey that was commissioned by Mig Zubiri. He commissioned a survey, if I'm not mistaken.
Yeah, it was Mick Zubiri.
Yeah, it was.
SWS
And then-
ba yun?
Yeah, yung nakita.
Yeah.
SWS, even baka Okta. Hindi ko
Yeah.
alam.
No, SWS
Is
yun.
it, and then he saw, wait a minute, humihina na ang mga Duterte. I mean,
Cynical ka.
maybe I shouldn't be the one
No,
saying
you're
that kasi
cynical.
binubuking ko siya eh. Mamagalit yung mga Duterte sa kanya. Pero then he's like, okay, political calculation.
Yeah.
Maybe I need to weigh that into my decision.
Balance ko yung positioning ko.
Yeah, and plus inaway pa siya ni vlogger Cayetano. Kaya yun.
Arnis versus Caldero.
Oo, kaya yun nakita mo na. Sabi niya, and plus nakita mo sa mga senador even yung mga nasa minority are probably cringing at Alan Peter Cayetano. Para naman, nakakahiya ka. Pati ako, ayoko na magpakikita ng kasama ka. Tingnan mo yung mga Villar. Tahimik na lang kasi I'm sure they're at home going, wow, sumama tayo dito.
Bro, tahimik talagang mga Villar. Di ko nga alam yung boses nila eh. Wala silang contributions.
Tataka tayo.
Kasi ang hirap depensahan yung ginagawang Alan Peter Cayetano does more vlogs than Senate sessions.
Right.
Has he even attended one since June?
Right.
He has not attended one, has he? Since he became Senate President. The shortest Senate President ever. One of the. And hanggang ngayon, hindi pa siya nagpapakita.
Si Solar Mommy. Ano siya?
Sumipot na siya di ba?
Si Solar
Oo,
Mommy.
At least siya sumipot na. At least si Robin Hood dumating. Kudo again. Shout out kay Robin Hood Padilla.
Fairness.
At least kahit papano, sumipot siya, nagpakita siya sa harapan ng majority. Sino pa yung sumipot?
Senator Bongo.
Nawawala din. Kasi nga, nakakahiya sobra itong sobrang nakakahiya to si Alan Peter Cayetano na yung mga kaalyado niya. Imbis sa depensa siya, tahimik ka lang muna ako. Huwag na ako magsalita kasi nakakahiya ka talaga.
Bahala ka dyan. No bro, I mean, going back to the Solid South issue, Alam ko marami nagalit sa akin last year kasi na-twist naman yung sinabi natin and all. But look at it. Again, I come from the North. I don't say it in a condescending way. But I've been always consistently critical of the Marcoses. Yes, I give credit where credit is due on West Philippine Sea, on some of these other issues. But I was always against Marcoses. I never voted for the Marcoses. I never allowed na yung just because Ilocano kami or galing kami sa North silang support. Because I always believe, first of all, hindi sila karapat-dapat. Pangalawa, there's so many other Ilocanos who are way better than them. So I'm hoping one day, yung mga ibang kababayan natin will also go beyond itong idea na, because yes, it is true na yung giyera sa Mindanao, the discrimination, ang daming maling nangyari, historical injustices. That's one of the issues I agreed with President Duterte. In fact, I have a column on Inquirer na a lot of DDS appreciated. Sabi ko, Duterte's finest moment, yung Bangsamoro referendum, yung 2019, which was successful. Duterte supported President Pinoy's Bangsamoro transition plan when even Mar Rojas, even Grace Poe were not very supportive. Cayetano was totally against it. So in fairness, on these issues, I understand where they're coming from. Kaya na-hurt ako last year na twist yung sinabi ko. But again, I understand I should have been more sensitive given yung stereotypes and all of those things. But having said that, sana at some point we go beyond this kami versus them because kawawa yung bansa natin. And there are some good signs. Like, as you mentioned, you have the rise of Congressman Zia and these people. I hope there'll be more young generation next. Yes, of course, they come from established families. We have no illusions about it. But nevertheless, sana yun yung new generation of leaders. I mean, Manny Pacquiao is still always going to be in the conversation. Not the most ideal statesman, but leader in a moral sense, leader in a sense of boses ng... I mean, in fact, Manny Pacquiao comes from Mindanao, but pambansang kamao ang tawag sa kanya. Hindi hindi Mindanao kamao. Pambansang kamao. And then, if you look at the surveys, issue very close to my heart, West Philippine Sea. We see in the surveys na even yung mga kababayan natin sa Mindanao na napakalayo dun sa mga hotspots sa West Philippine Sea. They also support us on West Philippine Sea. And dapat ma-reciprocate din natin. I also hope na tayo from Visayas, from Luzon, from Palawan, abroad, we also try to be more understanding of people in Mindanao. Kaya sabi ko, hopefully, if we have it the chance, meron tayong Vismin tour, Iloilo, Cebu, Jensan, different places, para makausap din natin. We really need a dialogue on this. So, I completely agree, Mark. Maybe one reason na Sara will still remain a front runner even after this trial, assuming she's not convicted, is because some people will say, yes, mali siya, may nangyari, etc., but she's still my champion because I cannot trust anyone else to support the interests of Mindanao. Hindi ko nakikita sa ibang kandidato yung pag-intindi nila. And this is where, to go to the next episode, I appreciate yung ginawa ni Risa and Bam going to Mindanao, showing respect. First of all, dun sa mga biktima ng earthquake. Pangalawa, dito sa trahedya nangyari sa Ateneo. Because a son of Mindanao died in very, very, talagang very tragic, and some would even say suspicious. Like, what on earth really happened there? And for me, we need to have more of that. More Bam and Risa and leaders and people from the rest of the country showing solidarity with Mindanao when they're going through tragedies, whether it's earthquake, whether it's the son of Mindanao dying in this tragic incident as part of the Ateneo varsity team. I just hope na the Dutertes will be and kind of parang yun yung magiging catalyst for us to be more giving, more understanding, at mag-extra effort to reach out. Because I'll be honest, bro, before the Dutertes, talagang hindi masyado binibigyan ng pansin yung Mindanao. So, nakakulang talaga tayo. But that's not an excuse to stick with the Dutertes through and through just because sila lang dapat champions. So, hamon din ito sa mga ibang Mindanao leaders to step up. Sige na nga, si Mig Zubiri na rin, di ba? Yun na lang.
Pilita ka pa.
Sige na nga.
Hindi, idagdag ko lang, Richard, that remember that a lot of the problems that Mindanao is facing is not even from the national. It's from the local leaders who are not giving the services na tama. Yung mga LGUs na may mga private armies na pinapayaman nila ang sarili nila. Sila ang may kasalanan sa karamihan ng mga hindi nagiging progresibong mga parte ng Mindanao.
Sure, but they were also supported by our corrupt presidents.
Absolutely.
For instance, how do you think Arroyo won in 2000? Do you get what I'm saying?
Yeah,
You're absolutely correct.
But it's
Pero
not
connected kasi national elite at local
but
elite.
But ito yung sabihin sa'yo. Tingnan mo. Remember, hindi siya dahil Arroyo was from Luzon. Arroyo is the kingmaker kung tutusin of Duterte. Alam naman ng lahat that Arroyo was the one behind Duterte until now.
Yeah.
Ano tingin mo? Bakit si Mike Defensor? Parang banat ng ganyan.
So, enabler din ang national leaders.
Yun, pero nakikita mo dito, sinasabi ko, it's not a Mindanao Luzon thing eh. It is a grab for power.
Trapo people.
Yeah.
Basically, it's trapo people.
Yes, it is.
Completely agree.
Ngayon
100%.
sa national level,
I agree with you,
sa
bro.
national level,
100%.
even Duterte did not prioritize Mindanao on a lot of fronts where he could have. He could have really made...
Yung railway na sinasabi niya Mindanao, nasaan? Anong nangyari?
Yeah, but kasi kung totoong kung totoong for Mindanao yan like I'll tell you, kung beyond Mindanao, if I was a leader on the executive branch na talagang gusto ko na mabuo ang buong Pilipinas, hindi lang Mindanao, buong Pilipinas, national railway system na maayos, high-speed national railway system, national bridges that connect all the islands,
National grid. Yeah.
power,
Yeah.
water, lahat aayusin ko. Yan ang una kong gagawin. Na wala ngayon. Dahil nga, hindi dahil taga Mindanao mas may pake, hindi dahil sa Luzon mas walang pake. It's just, the bottom line is, karamihan ng ating mga liderato ay
Trapo.
walang pake.
Trapo.
Trapo lang talaga. And add to that na yung mga LGU, hindi talaga sineserbisyo ang kanilang mga constituents. Singilin nyo yung mga LGU nyo. Kasi sila yung pinaka-direkta na may access sa inyo, na may hawak ng budget na alam ang problema nyo, hindi nila inaayos down to the barangay level. Yan ang huwag natin kakalimutan. We're all looking at the national. Nakakalimutan natin yung barangay level. Ang laki ng impluensya at epekto ng maayos sa pagpapatakbo ng isang barangay sa kalusugan, sa kaayusan, at overall sa mga epekto, sa mga nangyayari sa buhay ng mga constituents sila.
I completely agree na... Sorry, Mark, I'll leave it to you to end this point kasi kailangan isang mabait na tao katulad mo to end this. Mainit ang panahon ngayon. I completely agree na at the end of the day, we have to hold all politicians accountable, whether from Mindanao, whether from Manila, whether barangay level, right? And sana, kaya nga sabi ko, hindi rin tayo magpapadala sa weaponization. Grievance. Kasi grievance politics is one thing politicians use to get away from... Isa yung grievance, yung pangalawa is resilient naman tayo eh. Like, kahit anong kapalpakan, basta bahalang tao, those two, we have to stop that. Yeah. Whether you're Mindanao, Luzon, Visayas, please, let's not allow politicians to use resilience as an excuse and grievance as an scapegoat. I completely agree with you on that, brother.
Meron lang akong iano dun sa point na yun eh. Kasi we saw a different kind of phenomenon last election na hinihiwalay nung mga, specifically sa Mindanao, ilang parts ng Visayas, hinihiwalay nila yung local sa national eh. Sa local, nanalo karamihan ng admin candidates, which is yung mga matatagal ng ruling families doon, dynasty doon. Tapos doon sa national, siguro dahil dala nung pagkakulong kay Digong, which was very near nung election, they voted a lot doon sa senatorial lineup ni Digong. Yeah. So parang ganun yung nagiging phenomenon, hinihiwalay nila eh. So kumbaga, different kind of kailangan turuan sa local side, kailangan turuan dun sa national side. And napansin ko sa national side, hindi lang enough na, kasi ang nagagawa ng admin, marami siyang ginagawa in terms of ayuda, bawat barangay makikinabang, tulong sa bigas, tulong sa scholarship, maraming ganon. It's not enough na bibigay mo lang yung tulong, kailangan makuha mo yung damdamin ng tao eh. Kasi maaaring magbigay ka lang ng ganon, pero kukunin lang. Pero kung hindi mo makuha yung damdamin nila, hindi mo makuha kung ano yung kiliti nila, makukuha pa rin ng kabilang side. So I think yun ang kailangan tignan din natin talaga.
So that's a perfect segue sa next episode because if there's one thing you have to give to the DDS people is that they're solid, they're organized. And being organized and solid gives you influence and power. We may not agree with how they use their power, but they're organized. Yeah. Which brings us to the next episode. Kamusta naman ang mga kakamping? How kakamping are kakamping? Because ngayon, meron pa rin yung mainit na debate. Whether it's Lenny, hintayin ba natin si Ma'am Lenny na nagsabi ilang beses, ayaw niya tumakbo, pero marami pa rin hopeful na she'll still run. Whether Riza na ba? Because she has already made it clear since last year na handa na siya. Or should we wait for someone like Bam, who did very well in the last elections, who ran the campaign of Lenny? And we know na Bam's version of pink politics is not necessarily the same as Riza's version of pink politics. Many shades of pink kasi yan, diba? So I think this is a healthy and important discussion we should have. And at the end of the day, how to organize the pink movement into a real movement for national transformation. Kasi kung balik na naman tayo sa trapo politics, we're gonna have Omar Duterte, Basta Duterte down the road. So we really have to do something special come 2028. So thank you so much for joining us for this very heated episode, but very interesting. Thank you so much, Mark. Thank you so much, Chris, for that discussion. I learned a lot. I appreciated a lot. At pansin nyo nga, medyo bumait kami ng konti. Next episode, talk to you soon. Di na kami mabait.